Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, July 12th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 3 of the NBA Finals, the weekend's Major League Baseball games, the weekend's WNBA games, the UEFA Final from yesterday, Wimbledon, the latest golf tournament, which was the John Deere Classic, NASCAR races from the weekend, news and notes. We'll make a pick for the Home Run Derby as well as preview it, and my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start with NBA Finals. Game number 3, and the Milwaukee Bucks are on the board. 120-100 over the Phoenix Suns to win Game 3, as the Suns now have a 2-1 series lead in this best-of-7. Giannis was the best player on the court. 41 points, 13 boards. It looks like he never got injured in the first place. And Chris Paul had 19-9 for the Suns in the game. I think that game kind of took a hit for Chris Paul's MVP case a little bit because they got blown out and he only had 19. I'd say he's probably the slightest of favorites with Giannis right there and then Booker. I'd say that would be my top 3 for Finals MVP at the moment. All right, now I'm going to go over the weekend's Major League Baseball games, and there's no games on today because we're officially in the All-Star break. So we'll start with Friday night. Cubs over the Cardinals 10-5, White Sox over the Orioles 12-1, Braves over the Marlins 5-0, Indians over the Royals 2-1, Red Sox over the Phillies 11-5, Mets over the Pirates 13-4, Rays over the Blue Jays 7-1, Rangers over the A's 3-2, Reds over the Brewers 2-0, Twins over the Tigers 4-2, Yanks over the Astros 4-0, Giants over the Nats 5-3, Mariners over the Angels 7-3, D-backs over the Dodgers 5-2, and the Padres over the Rockies 4-2. Saturday, Rays over the Blue Jays 5-2, Tigers over the Twins 9-4, White Sox over the Orioles 8-3, A's over the Rangers 8-4-11, Giants over the Nats 10-4, Braves over the Marlins 5-4, Phils over the Red Sox 11-2. Doubleheader Game 1, Pirates over the Mets 6-2-7, Indians over the Royals 14-6. Doubleheader Game 2, Mets over the Pirates 4-2-7. Reds over the Brewers 4-3, Yanks over the Astros 1-0, Cards over the Cubs 6-0, Mariners over the Angels 2-0. Dodgers over the Diamondbacks, 22-1. Wow. And the Rockies over the Padres, 3-0. And now Sunday's results. White Sox over the Orioles, 7-5-10. Chicago, 34-35. Baltimore, 28-61. Marlins over the Braves, 7-4. The Marlins are 35-50. Atlanta, 44-45. Phillies over the Red Sox 5-4. Phillies are 44-44. Boston 55-36. Pirates over the Mets 6-5. The Pirates are 34-56. Mets are 47-40. Just a horrific loss for the Mets. Edwin Diaz just continues to be abysmal in big spots for the Mets. That's probably one of the 3.25. You're right. Yeah, he's literally been one of the bigger bust acquisitions I can remember in terms of a trade in a couple years, considering who the Mets gave up. Blue Jays over the Rays 3-1. The Blue Jays 45-42. Tampa Bay 53-37. Reds over the Brewers 3-1. Reds 48-42. Milwaukee 53-39. Twins over the Tigers 12-9 and 10 on a walk-off homer by Jorge Polanco. Astros over the Yankees 8-7. Houston 55-36. Yankees 46-43. That was on a 3-1 walk-off homer by Jose Altuve. And by the way, the Twins are 39-50. Detroit 40-51. So those two teams are only a game apart. So rough loss for the Mets. Arguably an even worse one for the Yankees. And Aaron Judge, man, I'm sorry. You should have never done what he did. Karma's a bitch, and it proved it on Sunday. And that's why the Yankees lost. All due respect to Judge and what a great player he is. He shouldn't have done what he did. I believe in karma. I know it's bad luck that Chad Green shit the bed. I know it's bad luck that Domingo Germán couldn't get through that inning. But I'm sorry. Aaron Judge should have never done what he did. Maybe the Yankees would have had another result. Karma's a bitch. A's over the Rangers 4-1. The A's are 52-40. Texas 35-55. Giants over the Nationals 3-1. Giants 57-32. Washington 42-47. Angels over the Mariners 7-1. The Angels are 45-44. Seattle's 48-43. So the Angels are above 500. Dodgers over the D-backs 7-4. Dodgers 56-35. Arizona 26-66. Rockies over the Padres 3-1. The Rockies are 40-51. San Diego 53-40. Royals Indians postponed makeup date September 20th. Cardinals Cubs postponed no makeup date set yet. I talked about a little bit about Aaron Judge just a moment ago. On Saturday, he hit the lone home run in the Yankees 1-0 win over the Astros, and Garrett Cole's returned to Houston. And in a trolling way, he brushed off his jersey, the troll Jose Altuve, from when Altuve hit the walk-off homer off of Chapman in the 2019 LCS Game 6. And then Martin Maldonado threw shades at Judge by doing a jersey pull of his own when he hit a solo shot to even up that game at 1 apiece on Sunday. And then Jose Altuve hits a home run. That's how you know karma comes in full circle. The Yankees had a similar karma situation in the postseason when Aroldis Chapman threw at Michael Brusso in the regular season, and Brusso hits the series-winning home run in decisive Game 5 off of Chapman. So that was the other recent karma example involving the Yankees. So the Yankees need to stop with the trash talk and all that. They're 46-43, the biggest underachiever in baseball. I mean, the Braves get a pass now because of Ronald Acuna's unfortunate injury, which we'll get to. Even though not a huge pass, their season's still going to be a failure if they don't make the postseason because they were a popular World Series pick by many folks. But injuries happen. I mean, the way for the Braves to make up for it is to go get somebody at the trade deadline, which could still happen. If they get somebody at the deadline that's a rental that could help them, then the Acuna excuse can go away if they get the right player at the trade deadline. But the Yankees have been the biggest underachiever in baseball this year. It's not even that close, quite frankly, other than the Braves. In terms of the American League, I should say the Yankees have been the biggest underachiever. And they shouldn't be trash talking. I'm sorry. I get it. The Astros cheated. I get it. The Red Sox cheated. But this needs to stop. End of rant. All right. WNBA. We will go over the results from the weekend. And now they're on the All-Star break, as well as the All-Star game will be played on Wednesday. Friday's results. Sun over the Dream, 82-72 in the Commissioner's Cup game, or 84-72. Connecticut, 13-6. Atlanta, 6-12. Fever over the Liberty, 82-69. The Fever, 3-16. Liberty, 10-10. Mercury over the Storm, 85-77 Commissioner's Cup game. Phoenix, 9-9. Seattle, 15-5. Lynx over the Aces, 77-67 Commissioner's Cup game. Minnesota, 11-7. Las Vegas, 14-6. Saturday, Commissioner's Cup, Mystics over the Sky, 89-85 in overtime. Mystics, 8-10. Chicago, 10-10. Sunday, 5 Commissioner's Cups games. Aces over the Wings, 95-79. Vegas, 15-6. Dallas, 9-12. Sun over the Liberty, 71-54. Connecticut, 14-6. New York, 10-11. Fever over the Dream, 79-68. Fever, 4-16. Atlanta, 6-13. So the Fever win back-to-back before the All-Star break. Storm over the, almost said the Sun. The Mercury, 82-75. Seattle, 16-5. Phoenix, 9-10. Lynx over the Sparks, 86-61. Minnesota, 12-7. LA, 6-13. And once the All-Star game comes, I'll make a pick for it on the podcast on Wednesday. All right, now I'm going to recap the UEFA final. This was just a great game as Italy wins. It was a 1-1 draw at the end of regulation. And Italy won 3-2 on penalties. On penalty shots. All right. England scored in the second minute of the game on a goal by Luke Shaw. to give themselves a 1-0 lead. And 65 minutes later, Leonardo Bonucci in the 67th minute tied it at 1 for Italy. And then come the kicks. First up was Domenico Berardi to give Italy the 1-0 lead. Then England's Harry Kane ties it at 1. Missed by Andrea Bellotti. Harry Maguire, 2-1 England. Leonardo Bonucci ties it at 2 for Italy. A miss by Marcus Rashford. And then Federico Bernarducci gives Italy the 3-2 lead in kicks. Then there was a miss by Jadon Sancho of England. Then a miss by Giringo. Then Bukayo Saka misses. And then Italy wins the 2020 European Championship final as they win Euro 2020. Congratulations to Italy. That was really cool. They were a 2-1 underdog, and they come through and win outright. And I picked England to win the game. And somebody on Twitter said it best. England is the Toronto Maple Leafs of soccer in terms of international soccer. So that's a really good comparison, just choking away opportunities, the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a really good comparison. So shout out to whoever said that. I can't think of who it was who said it. Hang on. It was Nick Alberga of 590 The Fan in Canada. He's a Maple Leafs radio host and also works for Sportsnet. So shout out to him for the Toronto Maple Leafs of soccer comp for England, getting over 4,500 likes on his tweet. Okay, now we will move on to the Wimbledon as we will recap how the Wimbledon finished on each of the men's and women's sides of it. We will start with the men's side of the Wimbledon, which honestly was very predictable. So on Friday, semifinals, Novak Djokovic, your 1 seed over 10-seeder Denis Shapovalov in 3 sets, and 7-seeder Matteo Berrettini over 14-seeded Hubert Hurkacz in 4 sets. Then in the final, Novak Djokovic over Matteo Berrettini in 4 to win the 2021 Wimbledon as Djokovic gets his 20th career Grand Slam. And then the women's final, 1-seeded Ashley Barty over 8-seeded Carolina Pliskova in 3 sets. So Ashley Barty wins the women's side of the Wimbledon as she wins the women's side of the Grand Slam. So congratulations to your 2 1-seeds, Ashley Barty and Novak Djokovic, respectively. So this one turned out to be yet another chalk for tennis. And next up in tennis, in the ATP Tour, we'll see. I'm on Wikipedia right now. It's the Olympics. That's the next big event. Because we have the Wimbledon. And then we have the Olympics. We have the gold, silver, bronze, 4th place. The Washington Open is in August. And then the U.S. Open's at the end of August. So there's a couple big ones left to go in tennis before the end of the season. And obviously we'll cover it all on the podcast. Okay, now we will go over the results from the John Deere Classic in PGA. So we will go over those results very quickly. And your winner with the score of 19 under, Lucas Glover. So congratulations to him. Tied for second with 17 under, Kevin Ah and Ryan Moore. Tied for fourth with 16 under, Luke List, Sebastian Munaz, Adam Schenk, and Scott Brown. Tied for eighth with 15 under, Seamus Power, Brock Stewart, and Hank Lebioda. Tied for 11th with 14 under, Cam Champ, Harold Varner III, Sean O'Hare, Jonathan Vegas, Ryan Henley, Cam Percy, and Patton Kazir. Tied for 18th with 13 under, Ches Ravi, Doug Gim, Jason Duffner, Maverick McNeely, and Brandon Hagee. Tied for 23rd with 12 under, Rafa Cabrera Belo, Kevin Tway, Patrick Rogers, Adam Long, and Charles Howell III. Tied for 28th with 11 under, Will Gordon, Jeff Herman, Chase Seifert, Nick Taylor, Henrik Norlander, and Martine Laird. Tied for 34th with 10 under, Mito Piera, Michael Gellerman, Zach Johnson, Chesson Hadley, Vaughn Taylor, Daniel Berger, Reen Gibson. And that's it. All right. Tied for 41st with 9 under, Kyle Sandy, Mark Hubbard, Camilo Vegas, Michael Thompson, Steve Stricker, and Scott Harrington. Tied for 47th with 8 under, Sunjay M, Bo Hogg, and Alex Smalley. Now I'm just going to go through notables because we're almost at the cuts. Cam Davis was in the tie for 55th with 6 under, as well as Scott Stallings and Tom Lee Lewis. TJ Tran was in the tie for 58th with 5 under. Adam Landry was tied for 64th with 3 under. The cuts: Dylan Fratelli, KJ Choi, CT Pond, Kevin Mitchell, Ben Martin, Tyler Duncan, JT Potson, Dylan McCarthy, Robbie Shelton, Sepp Straka, Bo Van Pelt, Danny Lee withdrew, Jamie Holmes withdrew, Saiwoo Kim withdrew. All right, so there you have it for the John Deere Classic. The next tournament will begin on Thursday. It's the Barbasol Championship from the Keene Trace Golf Club Champion Trace Course in Kentucky, and we will cover it on the podcast. And obviously the Open is the next one after it, so I gotta beware of the potential look-ahead guys in this tournament. All right, now we will recap the NASCAR races from the weekend. We will start with the Truck Series results as they raced in Knoxville. And the winner of this race was Austin Hill. Second place, Chandler Smith. Third, Grant Effinger. Fourth, Todd Gilliland. Fifth, Derek Krause. Sixth, Matt Crafton. Seventh, Ben Rhodes. Eighth, Brian Brown. Ninth, Tate Fogelman. 10th, Danny Bowen. The rest, John Hunter Nemechek, Jake Griffin, Ryan Truex, Shane Smith, Chris Wyndham, Carson Hosvar, Tyler Ankrum, Devin Rouse, Norm Benning, Johnny Sauter, Haley Deegan, Cody Erickson, Kyle Stricker, Andrew Gordon, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Jessica Friesen, Stuart Friesen, Josh Berry, Parker Price Miller, Austin Wayne South, Tanner Gray, Donnie Schultz, Chase Purdy, Cody Rohrbach, Sheldon Creed, Chase Briscoe, Jeff Nolan, Brett Moffitt, Jack Wood, Morgan Alexander. And now I'm going to do the Xfinity Series results as them and Cup raced at Atlanta. And your winner, of course, was Kyle Busch. Second, Jeb Burton. Third, Noah Gragson. Fourth, Justin Haley. Fifth, Ty Dillon. Sixth, Brett Moffitt. Seventh, Justin Allgaier. Eighth, Jeremy Clements. Ninth, Sam Meyer. 10th, Austin Cindric. The rest, Austin Dillon, Ryan Sieg, AJ Allmendinger, Ryan Vargas, Alex Lab, Tommy Joe Martin, Jay Buford, Josh Williams, Riley Herbst, Colby Howard, Matt Snyder, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Josh Berry, Harrison Burton, Joe Graff Jr., Matt Mills, Ronnie Bassett Jr., Jesse Little, Mason Massey, Daniel Hemrick, Brendan Brown, Kyle Weatherman, Santino Ferrucci, Bailey Curry, Greg Gaulding, Carson Ware, CJ McLaughlin, Landon Castle, Brandon Jones, and David Starr. And now the Cup Series results from Atlanta, and your winner was Kurt Busch. So good for Kurt Busch for getting the win. And Kyle Busch was second. Third was Ryan Blaney. Martin Truex Jr. Fourth, Alex Bowman. Fifth, Ryan Blaney. Sixth, Tyler Reddick. Seventh, Chase Elliott. Eighth, Chris Bell. Ninth, Matthew Modetto. 10th, Brad Keselowski. The rest, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Cole Custer, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, William Byron, Ross Chaston, Corey LaJoie, Eric Almirola, Ryan Preece. Eric Jones actually finished 24th and 25th was Ryan Preece. And Anthony Alfredo, Michael McDowell, Ryan Newman, Justin Haley, BJ McLeod, Garrett Smithley, Bailey Curry, Cody Ware, Josh Bleakey, Quinn Houff, Daniel Suarez, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. All right, so there you have it from the NASCAR from the weekend. Now we will do news and notes. We got into the Aaron Judge debacle with the trolling, which to me ultimately led to the disastrous loss from yesterday, because that to me motivated the Astros. So here's an interesting thing. The Ottawa Senators hired Pierre Maguire as Senior Vice President of Player Development. So that is an interesting hire. Pierre hasn't been involved in an NHL front office in a long time. We'll see how that goes. I could see a world where he does very well. I listen to him occasionally on, ironically enough, TSN 1050 in Ottawa. So they must be thrilled with this hire. And then with Montreal, and then with Toronto and Vancouver. So he would do hits all over Canada for the NHL when he was doing work on NBC. That's really good for Pierre. We'll see how he does in his new role. We'll see if he moves his family up there. I know his one son is like a little older now and is a hockey player himself, and I think his daughter is a teenager as well. So I wonder how this will play out. I'm fascinated to see the folks in Ottawa and Montreal and all around Canada's reaction to this. So good for Pierre to get back into the league. The Tampa Dive team is prepared if Lightning copy Tom Brady and the Stanley Cup goes overboard. So if the Bolts toss the cup, get ready, Tampa Dive team. Nikita Kucherov's salary cap shirt, $18 million over the cap he wore. That was the shirt. that he wore while on the boat with the cup and the Lombardi trophy. So they had the Lombardi trophy and the cup. That was pretty cool. And Kucherov also got an endorsement deal with Bud Light due to his shirtless press conference. So that was really cool. So good for Kucherov. Spurs guard DeJounte Murray speaks on trade rumors. Rumors can be true, and rumors could be false. Becky Hammon knew that Portland wanted Chauncey Billups. As she says, she knew she was second. I think Becky Hammon has coaching in her future. I know I did guess every team's NFL coach. 3 years from now, I'm going to do one for the NBA, maybe this week. Colin Sexton is on the trade market as the Cavs guard is very available and not expected to be offered a max contract extension. We'll see who is in play for Sexton. I think it's going to be the ones that are trying for Chris Paul and Damon don't get either, like the Knicks or something like that. Wouldn't rule out the Lakers either. And Kyle Lowry, to me, is the fourth option behind those three in terms of point guard acquisitions. And Lowry, to me, is the forgotten guy because everyone talks about Damon CP. Lowry is an NBA champion. He's a veteran, big game player. So I won't be shocked if somebody overpays Lowry. The Orlando Magic to hire Jamal Mosley to be their next head coach. He's a Mavericks assistant, so good for Jamal Mosley getting the opportunity. D'Angelo Russell kept out of trade talks as the T-Wolves view him as a part of their core and don't want to include him in potential trade packages. So that's interesting. He has one of the worst contracts in the league. And the Timberwolves are like, hey, we're cool with him. The Blazers are to hire Scott Brooks to be Chauncey Billups' top assistant. So that's pretty cool for Chauncey to get an experienced coach as his lead assistant. So Portland is thinking like Brooklyn, as Brooklyn hired Steve Nash and made Mike D'Antoni their lead assistant. And now Portland's doing the same thing by getting an experienced coach as a lead assistant for the brand new head coach. Rob Manfred booed at the MLB draft as the fans boo Rob Manfred as he announces the number one pick. That's predictable. Kansas paid player to leave a team. So the Jayhawks paid $50,000 to a fullback to leave the program and signed an NDA after he was threatened violently by 4 teammates. So, yikes, the Kansas program for football. Yikes, yikes. Unfortunate news in baseball, Ronald Acuna Jr. tears his ACL and will undergo season-ending surgery from the injury. That is brutal news for the Braves. We'll see if they acquire a rental or a year-and-a-half rental, because Acuna might not be back until next year's All-Star break. So that's just brutal for Atlanta. And we'll see what they do. Do they acquire a rental at the trade deadline, or do they just sell and say, screw it, it's not our year? The Twins did it. The Twins are going to be sellers. And the Cubs are going to be sellers too, as the 11-game losing streak has prompted Jed Hoyer and company to become sellers. So sometimes you just look at it and say, hey, it's not our year. Mookie Betts not playing in the All-Star game as Justin Turner and Walker Buehler are added as NL replacements. Yu Darvish placed on the 10-day injury list with hip inflammation. That is a big loss for the Padres. Team USA Under-19 wins the FIBA Gold with an 83-81 win over France. And Nigeria upsets Team USA 90-87 as Nigeria just got hot from 3. Aaron Rodgers takes a break from the golf course to toss a football to a boat in Lake Tahoe. So that was pretty cool. J.J. Watt mocks fraud training videos as Watt posts a video with squatting with the light plate. Beware the BS, he says. Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark, charged with felony and possession of an assault weapon, faces up to 3 years in prison. Yikes. That's disastrous for the Chiefs. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Stephon Gilmore's message to the Patriots. He wants what he's worth, however that plays out. But he's not looking to be traded, as he tells that to ESPN's Josina Anderson. The New York Giants are being cautious with Saquon Barkley, as Barkley is eager to return to the field, but the Giants don't want to risk further injuries, which is smart. Giants tight end Kyle Rudolph hits long birdie as he receives loud cheers after sinking this putt at the ACC Championship. Dustin Poirier wins the rubber match against Conor McGregor after Conor McGregor snapped his ankle. So it's by injury TKO, Poirier getting the win here. So congrats to Dustin Poirier and McGregor. Hopefully he gets well soon. Christian Yelich absolutely loses it with an umpire as the Brewers are to be held back after getting tossed for arguing a questionable call at first base. There's a high schooler that mapped a 7-mile run to spell out "We want Kofi" in hopes that he'll return to Illinois. There are rumors that the New Orleans Pelicans can trade the number 1 pick, as some league personnel are expecting New Orleans to trade the 10th pick of the draft for veteran help. Of course they want to go and win now. Well, they got to. They got to be honest. You have Zion on your team. You got to win now. Larry Fitzgerald unsure about the 2021 season as he's undecided about playing. Bobby Wagner talks Russell Wilson drama. Water under the bridge, he says. Chris Godwin deal not close, as the Bucs and the receiver currently have nothing imminent regarding an extension. An Allen Robinson extension unlikely, as he and the Bears have no substantive talks on extension ahead of July 15th deadline. So the deadline is on Thursday, so we'll see who gets done. And then Jeff Petrie says the blood vessels in his eyes popped after he passed out when doctors reset his broken finger. That's wild. Really, really wild. Hopefully, Petrie will get well with his injuries and stuff. He was just fabulous in Montreal's run to the Stanley Cup final. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the Home Run Derby, and I will make a pick for it. I think it's going to be a fun event tonight. I think that we're in for some long bombs tonight. I'm trying to pull up the bracket here. Here it is. So you got 1-seeded Shohei Ohtani against 8-seeded Juan Soto. Salvador Perez, your 4-seed against 5-seeded Peter Alonso. And on the opposite side of the bracket, 2-seeded Joey Gallo against 7-seeded Trevor Story. And then 3-seeded Matt Olson against 6-seeded Trey Mancini. Really cool to see Trey Mancini in the Home Run Derby. God bless him. It's such a great story that he's back in baseball after what he went through. But I don't see him winning it. I'm going to go with... I love Juan Soto. I could see him going off. I really can. But I feel like this is Shohei's show. I think that's going to be the best match of round 1. And I think that the winner of that side could potentially win the whole thing. So we'll go Shohei Ohtani over Juan Soto. I'm going to go Peter Alonso over Sal Perez because of Alonso's experience. I think he has a chip on his shoulder trying to repeat. I'm going to go Joey Gallo over Trevor Story. Joey Gallo just has monstrousness of power. So does Story, but Gallo just has the stroke. All due respect to Trey Mancini, love the Story, but I'm going with Matt Olson, who's just a better power hitter than Trey Mancini. It'd be cool if Mancini did well here. I'm rooting for him, but gotta be realistic with my picks. Shohei Ohtani against Peter Alonso. I think this is going to be a fun match. And I think the show will go on, so I'm going to go Shohei Ohtani. And then the other side semifinal, I'm going to go with Joey Gallo over Matt Olson. And then we have Ohtani and Gallo in the final. And I'm going to go with the show. So I think we're going to have a chalk winner of the home run derby. I think this is going to go chalk, except I have Alonso over Perez. So I'm going to say that Shohei Ohtani won the 2021 home run derby title. And Japan will be going nuts for him, as they've been going nuts for him his entire career since he's come over to the big leagues. And this is his year, it feels like to me. So I'm going to make Shohei Ohtani to win the home run derby. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. I really don't remember what my best bet was the other day. So I'm going to check. And actually, they have odds out for the home run derby. Shohei Ohtani's a plus 260 favorite. So best bet on Friday was a loser. As Rockies Padres went under 8.5 runs instead of over. But this is a tough one because we don't have anything going on. So, for best bet, there's no MLS either. Which is nuts. So what I'm going to have to do is go with the plus 260 with Ohtani. So I'm going to lay half unit on Shohei Ohtani to win the home run derby as my best bet of the day. So that's a prop for best bet. Something you'll rarely ever see on the Madison Miller podcast. So there you have it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the home run derby. And then we'll look ahead to the All-Star game. I'm going to start eventually start the prospect checkup list for Major League Baseball once the draft's over. And I'm going to do another show in a little bit recapping the first round of the Major League Baseball draft, and I'll give out grades as well. So, hope you guys have a great day, everybody.